It actually ended up being the most perfect day for mid-November. It was a high of about 58 and sunny, gorgeous. There were about 119 that ran the full marathon, but then there were probably about 200 or 300 more that ran the relay, so they were with us throughout various parts of the run. Anyway, so yeah, we got down here a little early and took a tour of the course I'll be running tomorrow, and I was not very enthused to find out that it is crammed full of hills, which I don't know if I'm prepared for, quite honestly, but I've been training for the last 3.5 months, most of it on the treadmill, unfortunately. I've had the last 3 weeks to get acclimated to running on the road, which I don't really feel is enough time, but the upside is running on the road is much easier than running on a treadmill, I think. Back in April, the same day they ran the Boston Marathon, I ran it on the treadmill, which was absolutely horrible. So I registered to run this marathon 3 weeks after my release, and I started training for it almost 3 months before I got out. But unfortunately, of course, I had to train on the treadmill. So then when I got out, I had about 3 weeks to get acclimated to running on the road, which I found to be so much easier running on the road. I wasn't sure at the time. I never really got to time my runs out here on the street, but I felt like the running came so much easier. I just had no idea of how fast I was going. I used the app Map My Run and a watch that was synced to that app on my phone, so I'd carry my phone too. It said I ran 26.6 miles, but but they say it was 26.2. So
how do you feel?
Oh my God, dead. Dead.
First 5 miles.
That was awesome. So I finished 15th overall with a time of 3 hours, 24 minutes, and 14 seconds. 15 or 16 miles was inside the Miles Standish State Forest, so the scenery was awesome, unbelievable. It just was all through the woods. It circled a few ponds. There was a lot of water. I began my training with the goal of getting to the point where I could run this marathon in under the qualifying time to make the Boston Marathon, which would have been under 3 hours and 5 minutes. But about 2 months into my training, I realized I was still far from getting to the point where I could do that. I want to find another one for the spring, preferably a much less hilly one than this one. This one was cram-packed full of hills, and I'd like to find an easier one and shoot for the goal of making it under the qualifying time of 3 hours and 5 minutes so that I could register to run Boston next year. I was encouraged to write a piece about the marathon I ran inside the jail on the treadmill back in April. I did just that. And we sold the idea of running that article to Runner's World magazine, who was interested. And last I heard, they were going to run it in their online edition, and it should be coming out very soon, likely within the next month.
20 miles, buddy. Yeah, hang in there.